Today we are talking about a serious matter, and this is about the head trauma for Tintin. And if you have read the world famous Tintin comics, you know what I'm talking about. In every other comic, Tintin gets knocked on the head and loses consciousness. And today we're going to analyze that. So let's get started. We'll be using these libraries: dplyr, ggplot2, Tintin, stringer, and patchwork. And then we're going to get the data out from the Tintin package. And here is the data. It gives you the page number, the cause of injury, loss of consciousness length, and the severity of the unconsciousness. So let's summarize the data. I'm grouping the data by the book title and then calculating the loss of consciousness duration. I'm not sure whether the duration is in hours, minutes, or days. So with that data, let's try to create a ggplot chart. So using the data which we just created, and then on the x-axis book title, on the y-axis the sum, which is the sum of the loss of consciousness, the duration, and then I'm filling it by the book title. So each color would be different for book title. So with that, we have a bar chart. I notice I've made a mistake. I've actually used the geom bar statement twice. So you just need to use it once. So I'm just cutting it off. So with that, we got a chart. So let's refine this chart a bit further. And I'm using two new statements here. One is to reorder, and the other one is the string wrap. So the string wrap helps wrap up the long book titles into multiple lines so that they look good on the chart. And reorder is to reorder the factors in such a way that the highest factor or the first factor has the highest loss of consciousness. So it's in a descending order of the values. And if I use this command, I can see the list of the books, and I've actually created another vector which lists all the books. We'll use that in the next section. Tintin books always had very nice colors on the front page, so we can make use of that color scheme in our charts. And based on each book, we can make use of each book's color combination which they use on the front of the page. So as you can see that I'm actually going to create multiple charts. So book 1, book 2, book 3. So I'm going to create a combined chart so that you can see all the charts in one go. And I've clubbed all the charts together, and you can see the name of the book and the color combinations which they used on the cover page of each of those comics. So now let's analyze the severity of the head trauma based on the loss of consciousness severity for each of those incidents. So here we go. We have the book title and the severity for the loss of consciousness. So I've grouped the data by book title and summarized. And I'm just going to use the maximum value so that I just get one record from each book where the maximum severity of the loss of consciousness happened. And sometimes poor Tintin gets knocked down multiple times in the same comic. So I'm using the maximum of those. So here we go. We got a chart now. Let's try to use a theme. So first of all, I'm going to say theme legend.position equals none. So which will stop showing the legends on the right hand side. And next I'm going to use the theme minimal and saying that the base size of the fonts is size 8. And the next step would be to set the X and Y axis title labels using this command. Now there's a problem. I can still see the legends on the right hand side because I have to use this command, legend.position equals none, after I've given the theme, so that theme doesn't override those settings. So with that, we got a good chart. And now let's use library scales. So scales can show you the number of colors. So in this case, I'm seeing 2 colors. So Tintin Pal is a palette which they've created. 4, 12, 24 colors. So they have given all the colors. Notice there's only 23 colors because 24th color they didn't use because the book was published after Herge passed away and the book was incomplete. So I'm creating another palette now. So my palette using the Tintin pal. So I got 23 different distinct colors from Tintin's magazine's book covers. So I'm going to make use of that using scale fill manual, and then values equals my palette, which I've just created. So here we go. So far we have only seen the fills for the discrete variables. How do we do it for continuous variables? First of all, I'm going to change my fill to a numerical value, which is in this case maximum, max. And then I'm going to change my scale fill also. So using scale fill underscore Tintin underscore C for continuous variables. Here we go, and then we got the values of that based on the book. I hope you found this information useful and practical. Thank you very much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next one.